This is the brand new OnePlus Nord N30. It's an affordable 5G smartphone coming in at only $300. So if you're looking for a phone that's able to keep up with today's standards without breaking the bank, you might want to check this one out. So it comes in one color, which they're calling chromatic gray. It's got sort of a dark, stormy look going on, and it has your typical OnePlus logo in the center and your cameras in the upper left-hand corner. Like many OnePlus devices that we've seen lately, the cameras are rather large, but I think they blend nicely into the rear of the phone. As you can see, it's got a glossy exterior, which does feel very smooth in the hand, but it also has a bit of a plasticky feel that does give you a subtle reminder of the price tag. Now, something that you'll notice is that this phone is extremely light in the hand, coming in at only 195 grams. Now, with that, I do recommend investing in a protective case to protect the phone, because I'm not sure how the lightweight materials will hold up if you happen to drop the phone. So with the N30, you have a flat edge design, which makes it very easy to handle. It features a side mounted fingerprint sensor, which from my experience is pretty accurate. If you prefer, you also have the option of face unlock, which seems to be just as accurate as the fingerprint sensor. You're also getting a 3.5mm audio jack on the bottom of the phone, so those of you that still prefer a wired connection as far as audio, the N30 has you covered. Now, speaking of audio, you also have dual stereo speakers that sound surprisingly good. In terms of volume, it's right up there with my S23 Ultra, and although my S23 sounds a little bit cleaner at max volume, it's not exactly a night and day difference, so you're getting some respectable sound from the N30.
The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left.
As far as the display, it's a 6.72-inch Full HD LCD display with a 91% screen-to-body ratio. Now, keeping in mind the price, I really like the display. I feel like it gives you some nice vibrant colors. You're also getting some decent contrast. Obviously, not as much contrast as an OLED display, but again, we're talking about a $300 phone. So as long as you keep your expectations in check, I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. You're getting 680 nits of peak brightness, and for me, I've had no issues even in direct sunlight. There's also a 120 Hz refresh rate, so you're getting a very smooth experience when it comes to navigating your favorite apps. Now, as far as what's under the hood, it's running Oxygen OS 13.1 with 128 gigabytes of storage and 8 gigabytes of RAM. And the RAM can actually be expanded by 4, 6, or 8 gigabytes by borrowing from the storage space. There's also a dual SIM card tray, with the second SIM card slot doubling as a micro SD card slot. And it supports micro SD cards up to 1 terabyte, so you can easily expand the storage. It's running a Qualcomm Snapdragon 695 chip, which I think is more than enough for the average person. And so far, I've had no issue running multiple apps, even doing some split screen action and some casual gaming. There's also NFC connection, so in terms of shopping, you do have the option of contactless payment. Now, as far as battery performance, it features a 5000 milliamp battery, which is plenty to get you through a full day. But in the event that you are short on juice, it comes with a 50-watt fast charger, so you're getting the same fast charging capability that you typically find on OnePlus flagship phones. This phone literally charges faster than any other phone that I've ever used, and it can go from 1% to 80% in just 30 minutes, which is extremely convenient, especially if you're that person that often forgets to put your phone on the charger. Now, when it comes to fast charging, the overall lifespan of the battery is always a concern, but the phone does have some safety measures in place to try and prolong the life of the battery. For example, if you go into the settings, there's something called wise charging, and you can choose to have this on only at night or all the time. And basically, this learns your charging habits and charging patterns, and it won't charge the phone past 80% until just before you're about to use the phone. There's also a bunch of temperature sensors in place to make sure that the internal components stay cool when fast charging is in effect. Now, the phone doesn't support wireless charging, so if that's a feature that you're used to, maybe you keep a wireless charger on your nightstand. Unfortunately, it's not going to be compatible with the N30. Now, something else I've really enjoyed when it comes to this phone is the camera performance. So on the back, you have a 108 megapixel main camera, along with a 2 megapixel depth sensor and a 2 megapixel macro lens. And then you have a 16 megapixel front-facing camera. As far as video, the phone maxes out at 1080p 30 frames per second, both for the rear and front-facing cameras. All right, so this is a quick example using the front-facing camera. We're shooting in 1080p, and this should give you an idea as to how you would look, also how you would sound in a basic vlog type setup. Now, if you're comparing the video quality to 4K, it does look a little soft, but again, keeping things in perspective, given the price, I would say that the video quality is definitely respectable. You do have multiple photo and video modes. For pictures, I found myself using the Extra HD and the portrait mode the most. I feel like the Extra HD option gives me the sharpest looking photos. And if you enjoy an occasional selfie, I feel like the portrait mode does a decent job. You also have the option of dual view video, which captures the front and the rear cameras at the same time. However, it does downgrade to 720p, and for that reason, I wouldn't really use this feature that much. And then there's the text scanner, which you can use to detect and isolate text from an image. So all things considered, it's easy to feel like you need to go out and spend $1,000+ on a phone just to keep up with the rest of the world. But sometimes all you need is a phone that can make phone calls, send text messages, take some halfway decent photos and videos, and run all of the latest apps. And if that's the case for you, I don't see why the N30 isn't a good option. So make sure you check out the link in the description if you're interested. And aside from that, as always, I appreciate you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.